Since politics is defined as getting what, where, when, and how, then the clamor for various interests will heighten during election seasons. The wife of the president, Aisha Buhari, has urged political parties and the 2023 presidential aspirants to pick women as running mates while hosting the presidential aspirants from various political parties in an iftar at the State House, Abuja. Aisha Buhari said this is necessary considering the voting strength and active involvement of women in the political processes. Meanwhile, the immediate past Speaker of the House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara, has asked the federal government to name the headquarters of the North-East Development Commission, NEDC, after Aisha Buhari, saying her interventions made the agency a reality. So the wife of the president actually hosted this presidential aspirants.
On the platform of APC?
No, I think it was a bipartisan thing.
Okay.
When I saw the Bauchi state governor there, so I know he's a sitting PDP governor.
Open to all aspirants, everybody. Not even PDP aspirants.
I think what really happened was that she's trying to push forward the women agenda when it comes to positions in the nations. We've never had a female vice president, and she thought that it would be the best way to tell whoever emerges as the candidate that it will be in the interest of everybody if they could just for once elect or select a woman to become the vice president of the Federal Republic. It's a germane reason. There's nothing wrong with it. All over the world, people are trying to empower women. The irony of this matter is quite funny. The world is made of more women in this world than men. Yet, there's nothing to get together to use this power, this majority status, to do something for themselves. Remember what happened in the House when they were talking about making sure that certain seats were reserved for women. And people went against it. And some even voted against it, I'm sure. Some will be women. It is that bad than what we are looking at. We need to create a situation where will be an open field. But just like we are looking for, trying to bring in young people into politics, we also need to do things for women. And I think the First Lady is just trying to put her heart in that ring to ensure that whoever emerges can give whatever she's asking a thought.
But Julie, what's Ms. Buhari trying to do?
Well, she just used the opportunity to push our own agenda for more inclusive representation of women in the leadership process. There is a court judgment recently directing them to give 35% of those appointive positions to women. But the president's wife will not stop at that. The president's wife wants political parties to give more positions to women. She wants the aspirants to consider making women their running mates. And I don't think it's such a bad idea, because we've seen women who are given the opportunity use it very well. People like Okonjo Iweala, they've shown us that there are capable women that will do a good job if given the opportunity. We've seen Obi Ezekwesili. For a short period, she was Minister of Education, and she did very well. So, and there are so many of them like that.
The late Akinyuli.
Yes, Dora Akunyili. Obasanjo never knew Akunyili from Adam. People just told her that, look, in one corner in that office, there is a very honest woman who traveled abroad, for a course and came back home. She did not spend all the money that she was given. Some other people would have found a way to spend that money and just come and do retirement and all that. But here was Akunyili. She didn't think she should do that. And when it was time for God to reward her honesty, It came through through President Obasanjo, you know. So I think that we need to give the women more opportunities. A situation in which you look at the whole of the Northwest, only one woman in the House of Assembly. Northwest, where we have 7 states.
One.
Yes. They are the only geopolitical zone with 7 states. And only one woman throughout. They need to do better than that. Women are
Does
easy.
it have anything to do with culture or religion?
Culture is a big part of it. Before now, historians will tell you that women were not even allowed to vote. People like Gambo Sawaba, this was what they fought for. Let's have women voting, let's not get in the way, you know, so that they can be part of the making the choice of leaders. So I think that the other amendment failed for obvious reasons, because what they said was, okay, let's have, if you are saying there should be one extra senatorial seat, which constituency should that person come from? I think they didn't define that clearly. So people like Abaribe, who came out, said the question is which constituency will that person be representing, or will the person be representing the entire state? That was not defined.
Women in the states.
Yes, that was not defined. So maybe in future they could bring this back in another form, you know, and see how
they should spell it out.
Yeah, because I know in
Rwanda
has it.
Rwanda has more women
in parliament,
in government than any country in the world. No, they are the #1 in the world, Rwanda.
I do know that in Kenya,
so
they have things for the women.
Yeah, yes, but if you are saying, okay, go to the National Assembly, go to the House of Assembly, because that was the
original,
that was the plan. Now they are saying, okay, that woman, which constituency, because the state has been divided into 3 senatorial zones.
Yeah.
So the 4th person, which zone will she be representing? I think that created a problem. So it made it difficult for some people to agree, because they need to understand what they are agreeing to. Let's face it. Now, this kind of request has to be brought back in another way. Maybe in crafting another bill in future, they have to do it in a manner that everyone will understand, and it will be easier to convince the men. I don't think that it's a case of those guys not wanting to do it, but they didn't understand how to.
And there are many ways we could do it.
I think we've left the era of, you know, making it, saying that women should always keep quiet and they should be watching from the back, and they should, you know. I think the world is, after the Beijing 1995 convention and a lot of exploits.
Even in our own history, we have Amina now, and we have Morimi, and even the Queen that took on the Queen that took on the Catholic Church and created what now is known as the Anglican Church. Well, people must realize that life is dynamic, and everything is moving according to the dictates of the times. Like I said, in some countries, for me, I would have preferred that for the Federal Executive Council, the extra minister that was taken from each region should be women. Okay. That should be a start. 6 of them automatically be members of the Federal Executive Council. And the same thing could happen that the Executive Council of the
Minister of State, for example,
should be women.
Yes.
Or even in the House of Assembly.
That one is easy to
implement. Because it's obvious that, okay, we've taken your cabinet.
Would they say that? So why the second fiddle?
Not second fiddle.
No, there is no second fiddle.
Women will be elected.
The Constitution does not see any ministers. There's no such thing as a junior minister. And they don't address them as such. They just address the Minister of State. But the Constitution, they earn the same salary. The Constitution does not see anyone as junior to another. If it's in some countries, they say junior minister. No, there's no such thing. By our own Constitution, they are all equal. They are all mates.
Since they are representing 36 states.
Yes, they are all, and each state must be represented.
Yeah. And since Obasanjo also made sure that zones are represented, let's take that, the first 6, and then the executive committees of the Senate and the House of Reps should also do the same.
So many they can try principal officers.
Yeah,
For example, they can split the principal officers. After all, you see some of them deputy whip, deputy this. No, they can even take deputy and
give it to the women.
That's that way you are grooming them.
To become
in future, some of them will be found good enough to.
Those are things that do not require constitutional.
Yes, but even if we want to do that, use the constitution. I don't think some of those states that we are talking about.
Yeah.
I don't think they made it a constitutional thing. No. They just made up their minds that this is what they want to do. But if we even want to use the constitution, it has to be done in such a way that the constituency that the person is representing will be clear. Because there's nobody who is in the National Assembly who does not have a constituency.
Yeah, you're representing someone.
And if the various constituencies have been delineated and each of them have been captured, there is no way you can bring a person and say his own constituency or her own constituency is the whole state.
That's
So
like
that's
like an extra governor.
Yes, that's the confusion that is there. If you are saying, okay, one, you say Kwara South is a woman, we know that. But I think this was a problem for them. Even me, I sat down because I supported it, I pushed for it. But when I sat down, I could see the argument that how do we reconcile this in the light of the stipulations in the Constitution? How do we do it?
Let them put women in leadership positions within the confines of the current Constitution. That will be a start.
Yeah, as a starting point.
I want to thank you, Osara Ganika Edebalogun.
Yeah.
Thank you for your contribution and the master himself. Mikeo, thank you for always being there. And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. And join us on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangout on Sunday. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Osubaku. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.